Wait till some people get in here. This is the Hasten These podcast. You can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, any streaming platform that you may have. I am Hayes from the Hayes and These podcast. Um, this will be the officially first of many live shows on Podbean. Shout out to the Spotify sponsors. Anybody entering the chat? Can you hear me? What's going on, man? I am Hayes from the Hayes and Ace podcast, new podcast. Well, not brand new. It's a new podcast to get the people interested and get the people talking. You could check this podcast out on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, like I said. So today, well, I'm gonna get y'all to know me first on here. I am one half of the Hayes and Ace podcast. My name is Hayes, originally from Brooklyn, New York, currently living in Charlotte, North Carolina. Um, yeah, this podcast is basically about music, entertainment, sports, um, anything that the people are interested in wanting to talk about. We'll talk about it. Trying to just get a new interaction with the people and seeing how this goes for the very first time. My sister, she's Ace of the Hayes and Ace podcast. You could check us out on Instagram. The Hayes and Ace podcast is the Instagram page. Check us out on Twitter. Hayes and Ace 718. So yeah, today we'll be talking about the NFL. We'll be talking about the NBA, music, COVID-19. How is it affecting everybody in their lives? And yeah, anything else that the people will want to talk about, we'll talk about it. So, got one person in here. I'm gonna try to get some more people in here. But it's while I have you in here with me, would you like to follow the podcast and show your support? Where should we start off first? I think we should start off talking about, do you think the NFL, how long will it take for the NFL to come back with the season as far as this COVID-19 goes? And same thing as far as the NBA goes. Do you think the NBA will continue their season? Also, we will be talking about um some new music that you might like that may have dropped. I'm currently listening to The Weeknd's new album. I like it better than I like the Party Next Door album. Uh, yeah. Me personally, I don't think P and D is the same P and D that we're used to. If you don't know who P and D is, it's Party Next Door. But yeah, my what's your favorite tracks on the Weekend album? If you listen to the Weekend, currently mine's are Hardest to Love, Scared to Live, Snow Child, Alone Again, the first song on the album. Me personally, I feel like the first song on the album is very important. With it being an introduction to the album and basically showing us how far you getting into your bag on the album. And I feel like the presentation of the album was great as far as the album cover. If you haven't seen the album cover, it's The Weeknd with blood on his face. He's looking like a damn vampire and shit. But yeah, I think The Weeknd got in his bag on this album. What you think? Goku. Did you like the album? Did you not like the album? What do you think he could have did better on with the album? If you think he could have did better, or do you think the album was right, just right? And while we on the subject of music, while I'm waiting on your reply, um, we're gonna get into everything else. We're just trying to get some more people in here and trying to engage with some more people. See how many people we can get up in here. Like I said, you could follow us on Spotify. You can follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, please subscribe. We got 11 subscribers, 13 videos. If you haven't heard the first few episodes that we have done, check it out. Ling, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Hayes and Nace podcast. Salute. Um, have a person that's in here too. Welcome to the podcast. What have y'all thought about? I was just telling Goku that I like the Weeknd's new album, and want to know what y'all think about the album. Um, I got a chance to listen to what's that girl name? What is her name? Crap! I just listened to her album too. The album was fire. Jessie Reyes, that's her name. I listened to that album. I think Jessie Reyes had a good album. You've heard the Weekend album, Link. So what did you think about it? Me personally, like I was telling Goku, I feel like the album was good. If you're talking about the Weekend album was good. I liked a few songs on it, and I feel like he really got into his bag on it. But yeah, if you haven't heard of the Hazen Ace podcast, Ling, if you haven't heard of the Hazen Ace podcast, Goku, and for the other person that's in here, um, check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. You know, trying to get the followers up, trying to get the subscribers up. The more supporters, the better. You know, this is a black-owned podcast, black-owned business. Want to support? You know, all shit. Shit. If it's just a follow, If it's just a subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. I have not heard it. So you haven't heard the Weekend album. Well, the Weekend album was good. I feel like it was a good album. It was a better album than Party Next Door's album. What type of music do y'all like to listen to in this live chat? Let me know so that way I can give my opinion on it. Jesse Reyes had a nice album. That shit was fire. Like I was telling Goku, I feel like the presentation of an album is very, very important as far as what the graphic looks like. As, as far as what the graphic looks like, as far as what the anything else, what the presentation of the album looks like. Gabe, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the podcast. I am Hayes of the Hayes and Ace podcast. Let me formally introduce myself for the people that are here. I appreciate y'all coming in. This is the first of many live streams on this podcast. Shout out to Gabe. Hey, Gabe, go like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Hit the Hayes and Ace podcast. Gabe itches. Ew. Okay. Yeah, y'all are funny. No. But yeah, that's enough for music because everybody gonna listen to the same music. Let's talk about NFL. Let's talk about the NBA. Currently, the NBA has discontinued play for a little minute until this COVID-19 passes. Shout out to Australia. Team's perspective. What's going on? Welcome to the group chat. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. I did not watch the Super Bowl. I don't support the NFL. I used to until they start doing that bullshit that they was doing. They get Kaepernick a job. Maybe I'll start watching again. But I heard the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I'm a Giants fan. So how long do y'all think that the NFL is going to take? I mean, not the NFL, the NBA is going to take to come back. If they come back. And what do you think they need to do about play? Team's perspective says 7 months. That's a very long time. What's the poorest team in the NFL? What do you mean? What's the poorest team in the NFL? Who's the poor? Oh, who's the poorest team? What do you mean? Who's the poorest team? All of them are rich. Oh, the poorest team in the NBA. If you're talking about the worst team in the NBA, I would have to say no team is broke. That's like saying the Knicks are the brokest team in the NBA, and that's the richest franchise in history, other than the Yankees. And I'm a Yankees fan too. Shout out to the Yankees. Nah, them white people will always be. The white people will always be rich. Hey, the white people ain't losing no money. But 7 months, I think that would be a very long time for the NBA to continue to get back to playing basketball. Um, Me personally, I feel like it's gonna take. I'll give it 2 months, 2 to 3. Yeah, Ling, shout out to you. Thanks for coming into the chat. Make sure you follow the podcast, please. I appreciate you. Um, COVID-19. Let's talk about COVID-19, and then we're gonna get into the NFL. Then we're gonna get into the NFL news. Like as far as free agency, as far as who's going where, who went where, who's going to the who's going where in the draft. Where do y'all think Chase Young is gonna go before we go to COVID-19? You're going, ain't nobody gonna be there. Gabe said he's going to the NBA draft. He's going to the NFL draft. Ain't nobody gonna be there. You'll be the only one there. And then I don't think they gonna allow nobody in. But me personally, I think my Giants are gonna draft Isaiah Simmons. We need a linebacker. We need defense, period. But I feel like if we don't get Chase Young, we'll get Isaiah Simmons. If we don't get Isaiah Simmons, we'll probably get Jeffrey Okuda from Ohio State. Who you think will draft Tua Tagovailoa, whatever the fuck? LeBron is trash. I mean, let's not say trash. He's overrated as a player. He's overrated. I think my favorite player is Carmelo Anthony. That's been my favorite player since 2000 and since he came in the league. I want to say 2003, 2004. My player of all time would have to be Iverson or Kobe. I'm gonna say Iverson and Kobe just because I grew up in that era. Everybody like to say Jordan. I don't want to say Jordan because not MJ because I only got to see a little bit of MJ. And when I seen MJ, I was a kid, so I didn't grow up watching Jordan. I didn't grow up watching Jordan, so I can't say Michael Jordan is my favorite. Who's everybody in here chat favorite player in the NBA? But I feel like, and while I get y'all responses, mine is either Kobe or Iverson, and I'm gonna say Kobe or Iverson just because I watched them. MJ or James Harden. Gabe said his favorite is MJ or James Harden. Okay, why? Oh, back to the thing about LeBron James. He's overrated as fuck. I don't see him as what everybody make him seems. And you know, he's not. Thank you. Somebody agreed with me finally. And I feel like this too. If you 3-7 in the NBA finals, you can't be considered the GOAT. You had to chase a ring. And I feel like the same people that keep the same energy for Kevin Durant saying that Kevin Durant is a snake. They need to keep that same energy for LeBron because LeBron did the same damn thing. You couldn't beat the Spurs, so you went ahead and joined somebody that beat the Spurs, which was the Heat. That's why I respect players like Melo. That's why I respect players like Kobe. That's why I respect players like Shaq. That's why I respect Iverson. Anybody that didn't have to jump on the team to get it, try to get a ring, that just did it for the love of the game, and especially knowing they couldn't get a ring. I respect that more. I respect that a lot. Who do I think the worst player in the NBA is? The worst player in the NBA, are we talking about current? Because if we're talking about current, I want to say dude from who got drafted to Philly. He in Orlando now. He's the point guard for the Magic. Markel Fultz. He's the worst. Second worst, I would say, is Lonzo. And it's not Lonzo's first fault that he's the worst. Aaron Gordon is a good player. He's a good player. He got cheated out of the slam dunk contest this year. He's a good player. He got cheated out of the slam dunk contest. I didn't agree with that at all. I ain't like it. I felt like, and that was Wade that gave him a 9. I was like, what the hell? Like, that dunk was way better than what dude did. But what do y'all think about the what's going on right now with the coronavirus? Let's change topics. Let's change topics. Let's talk about the coronavirus. Did y'all think that it would have as much of an impact that it has had as of right now? Like, because everybody went in there thinking that this shit was just a joke and that it was just gonna blow over as fast as it was supposed to. A lot of people are dying, you're right, and a lot of people are losing jobs. Like not losing jobs, but getting temporarily laid off of their job, and this is not good for the country. And I feel like this is crazy. As of right now, it's a what they call it, a pandemic, and The Simpsons predicted this shit. Let's just be honest. They predicted it. And anything that the Simpsons predicted between 9/11, between Donald Trump becoming president, and then anything else that's about to go on with Donald Trump that the Simpsons have predicted, it's gonna come true. We ain't gonna say what because the government is listening, but yeah. Yeah, they always predict everything and they always be right. That's the crazy part. Um, Me personally, I don't know anybody that is affected by coronavirus. I don't know anybody that has died from it. I have family in New York that is under quarantine right now, and I want to send my prayers and I want to send out my thoughts and well wishes to everybody that's dealing with it, and I want to send my condolences to the families that have lost people to this. How do we change as a nation? How do we change? How do we make a change as a nation? Because we thought 2020 was going to be the year of changed. We thought it was gonna be the year that we get this asshole out of the damn White House. Yeah, I can't believe Kobe passed either, man. I think that was the start of it all. I think that was after that. Where were you when you found out that Kobe passed away? B Joy, welcome to the chat. Make sure you follow the podcast. I wasn't eating, but I had just woke up. I'll never forget. It was like a flashback to when Nipsey had passed away because it was a flashback to when Nipsey had passed away because yeah, I just woke up. I want to say around 12 East Coast time, and I think it was about 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I'm on the West. But my homeboy had called me, and he was just like, "Bruh, Kobe passed away." But before he called me, you know how you get a feeling when something ain't right? Oh shit! It was like that, and it was just like because it was weird. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I was like, "Okay, never mind, forget it." So my homeboy called me. He was just like, "Bruh, Kobe passed away." I was just like, "What?" He was like, "Nah, Kobe passed away." I'm like, "Man, get the fuck out of here! Don't say no shit like that." That's something you just can't play around with. And I told him that. He was just like, "Nah, everybody out here tweeting at the gas station or whatever like that." I was just like, "Look, bro, forget that. I'm gonna go on Twitter, see what's going on." TMZ said it. I was just like, TMZ be lying. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Then I seen other stuff starting to pop up. I was just like, what the hell going on? Hey, B Joy, do what you did again with the calling so I can add you. I didn't know what that was at first. But I was like, man, look, stop playing. Don't say that shit. Looked it up, kept looking it up, seen a reliable source of mine, and I was just like, oh shit, hell no. But it took me back to when Nipsey had passed. And that day it was a somber night then because again, shit just didn't feel right. I heard the police was trying to take pictures. But you know what hurt more? It hurt more that Gigi was there, and it hurt more that that the seven other passengers was on the plane with him, on the helicopter with him too. It I was like, what the hell? Because TMZ needs to be sued because they was pushing out false information. They was putting out, yeah, at least the mom didn't die. At least the rest of the children and the mom didn't pass away. It was crazy. It's crazy. It's wild. It was wild that day. I was like, what the hell? I don't know. Rest in peace. Condolences to Kobe. But after that, that's when everything started to hit the fan. Because I want to say what, right after that or right before that, it was a rapper named Juice WRLD that had passed away. And then right after he passed away, Kobe had passed away, or I want to say it was, I don't know. It was one of the two that happened first. But I was telling my brother that I have a Kobe Bryant jersey, number 24. And I had it as I was like, what I want to say. When did Kobe Bryant, anybody in the chat for that knows when Kobe switched his number from 8 to 24, what year that was? If you know, put it in the chat. I want to say it was 2014, 2015, probably. Let's just put it around that year. that year that he changed his number from 8 to 24. The year that he changed his number from 8 to 24, I had got the jersey because I think he said it was his high school basketball number or something like that. Gabe just asked why did Kobe change his number. I think that's what's his high school basketball number or something. Well, I think that number probably meant a lot to him. But he changed his number from 8 to 24. I went to the store, went to the mall, and I got the last 24. I was like, I got the last number 24 Kobe Bryant jersey. And I told my brother the week before Kobe passed away that I was gonna hang it up on my wall. I was gonna hang it up on my wall with the Allen Iverson jersey that I got. I got a red, white, and blue Allen Iverson 76 jersey. I got a Kobe Bryant jersey. I got the Melo New York Knicks jersey. I have the Super Bowl Eli Manning jersey, the Super Bowl Victor Cruz jersey, and the Hakeem Nicks jersey. And I said I was gonna hang all of them up on the wall. And not a week later, after I said that, he passed away. And that shit fucked me up. I went to a Gabe asked me if I went to a game. I went to Eli Manning's rookie first official start when he was a rookie for the Giants. It was against the Carolina Panthers in 2004. And then I had went to go see the Hornets when the Hornets was the Bobcats. I went to go see them against the Cavaliers when LeBron was in Cleveland. Um, yeah, I've been to I've only been to one basketball game, and I went to no, I've been to more than one basketball game, and I went to a few football. I went to one football game. I've been to a couple wrestling events too. If anybody in the chat likes WWE, um, I've been to a few SmackDown events. I've been to a couple Raw events. But yeah, those are amazing. What do y'all think about, since we on that topic of sports still, and we talked a little bit about the COVID-19. I don't want to be jumping around everywhere from subject to subject, but since we on the subject of entertainment and sports, what do y'all think about WrestleMania not having any fans? If y'all watch wrestling in here. It's gonna be weird seeing WrestleMania with no fans because I've been watching wrestling since the 90s. Like I've been watching wrestling since the 90s. Like my favorite, like me personally, I grew up in the Attitude Era. So I'm a fan of Hunter. I'm a fan of Triple H. I'm a fan of Kane. I'm a fan of Undertaker. The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, greats like that. Like those are my era. But as of this generation, my favorite wrestler is Roman Reigns. As far as after the Attitude Era, I want to say my favorite wrestler would be Randy Orton. But as far as WrestleMania not having they they already pre-recorded WrestleMania. They pre-recorded it already. They did it in I think they did it in the Performance Center in Orlando. And yeah, it's not gonna be the same as what it would be if a lot of fans would have been there. And it's messed up that the fans that paid for a ticket for WrestleMania can't go, but it's a good thing that they get a refund for their money. Me personally, I feel like if this blow over by the time WrestleMania is supposed to happen, let everybody that bought a ticket, let them get in free. Let them get it free. I feel like that shit. But then again, who knows? I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. The WWE is just like any other corporate company and any other corporation. They're gonna make money however they make money. But oh, what do y'all think about the XFL? Do y'all think the XFL is better than the NFL? Just for the little rebrand that we've seen so far, if you watched it, kinda. Okay. So what do you like about it? And what don't you like about it? I have a somebody I went to high school with that plays in the XFL. His name is Austin Duke. Shout out to Austin Duke. Yeah, Austin Duke. He went to Independence High School with me. He's good for the XFL. He's good for the XFL. He played for the Panthers. He went to the Panthers undrafted. He went to the Panthers undrafted like 2 years ago, like a year, 2 years ago, and then they cut him. But me personally, I don't know. I haven't talked to him since high school, so. But he plays for the New York Guardians. If you get a chance, opportunity to look, to go check him out on YouTube. A few of his games is on there. I think he's like a punt returner. I think he's like a slot receiver. His name is Austin Duke. He went to Independence High School down here in Charlotte. I'm gonna put his name in the chat so that way you would know. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but welcome to the chat. This is really good. Like I used to do my podcast on Anchor, and it's different doing this. Like as far as doing the live show, I like it a lot. I'm glad I did this. Hopefully, this can be more the good, more good conversations, more better conversations. You know, I'm used to having my co-host with me, but with this coronavirus, gotta practice social distancing, this distance. How the fuck you say that word? Social distance. You gotta practice that. My sister, my god sister, that's Ace. We call her Ace of the Hayes and Ace podcast. That's my right hand. That's my. She devoted her way into this podcast. Like she was just like, "Yo, you need a female perspective of what's going on. Like if you need any other subjects, if you need subjects, let's talk about them or whatever." I was like, "All right, I got you." And she pulled up, and she's a very important factor into this podcast. So shout out to her. If you want to follow her on Instagram, her Instagram is Hall of Ace. If you want to follow me on Instagram, is Red Hayes 718. If you want to follow us on YouTube, we got a lot of stuff on YouTube together. Subscribe on YouTube. The Hayes and Ace podcast on YouTube. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff together on YouTube, and I feel like it'll be great for us to when we get together, when we finally get together, you'll actually see what this podcast is like and what it's about. It's funny. It's entertaining. We talk about everything except politics, basically. She was just over yesterday, and she wanted me to tell everybody what's up. I told her I was gonna do this one day, and then tell her when. But yeah, follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Like again, please, please, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. And if you have anybody else that like to listen to podcasts, if you have anybody that like to listen to podcasts, report them to the podcast page. Same thing as Spotify. Same thing as Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts, please leave reviews. My Instagram name is Red Haze underscore 718. If you want to follow the Instagram page, it is Hayes and Ace Podcast. Currently on the Hayes and Ace Podcast Instagram page, we have 33 followers and 66 people were following them. I'm gonna put my Instagram in the chat so that way y'all could go follow, and I'm gonna put the Instagram official podcast page too. I have a question. As soon as I put this in the chat, I'm gonna ask y'all because I'm in the group chat with my coworkers, and I was asking them whether they think I should talk about. And on here when I get back to doing the episodes, and they gave me a few ideas. Know what you all think. This is the podcast page. I'm about to send it to y'all right now. That's the Instagram page right there. Thank you a lot. I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, support, however you want to do it. Nice talking to you too. I appreciate you coming in here. Come back, follow us. Follow us on here. So that way when I come back, I got you. I appreciate it. And change your damn name, Gabe. The last one, the last name. That's weird. So on the next live podcast episode, first of all, who's all in here? Who's all still in here? If you let me know who's all in here by putting something in the chat before I go. It's been a lot. It's been good talking to y'all. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Very first time doing this. 44 damn minutes. Ain't that something? there's anybody else, I appreciate y'all listening. If y'all don't have any questions, if y'all don't have anything else that y'all want to talk about with me, I appreciate y'all coming in. I'll be back here tomorrow, most likely. If not tomorrow, the next day. We'll see how it goes. I appreciate y'all.